the Pat Mayo Experience.
Pat Mayo Experience. Pat Mayo Experience. Pat Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings, the Tour Championship Picks Preview. One and done. Plus a look at the Ryder Cup, where we sit right now that the American auto selections have been made. We have 6 more captain spots to go before we get to run. Plus everything that's going on in Europe with the Ryder Cup team and a pretty good tournament over in the Czech Republic this week as well, with some names that we want to see play well for the European side to see if they can get on the team. Reminder to you to smash the like and sub to the channel, obviously. But the Week 1 DraftKings Listeners League is now open. The link is down in the description. Please go fill that up as quickly as possible. There's 5,000 spots. It's already around 30% full. We still got like 3 weeks to go, 2 weeks to go, whatever it is, till kickoff on Sunday of week 1 of football season. So the quicker we can get it filled, the bigger the contest will be. Rake free, $15 to play, 3 max. Easy stuff. Go do that right now. Jeff Fienberg, we won yesterday. You won some bets. I did very well on DraftKings. It was a nice BMW Championship. I like Olympia Fields.
I loved it. It was great. Victor won. I was frustrated through many parts that maybe I didn't go to the very top, but I can't take credit for being like calling anything. I literally said I've wagoned Vic in every premium tournament all season. Why stop here? One more, chips here, right here, shove them. Got it. Thank God. What a wizard. What a wizard. I don't think I've been maybe it's hyperbole because I could think of all the guys that won big, but I usually attach myself to the losers, like guys who don't win enough, or even like Ricky Fowler, loser, never won enough. Like the trophy case should be double, but no, not this guy. I finally feel like maybe I attached myself to a winner one time, Pat. One time.
Well, he was a perpetual loser before this year. It's funny how those narratives can shift on people.
Okay, there are people that said things that I don't even think they know that they said. If that makes any sense.
Nope.
Like, there are people that said that thought they could draw conclusions about this guy at 24 that today have no memory of saying those things like 4 months ago. I could go look at, I don't want to be petty. And I didn't call it. No. And I don't want to call that Victor's good. That's like saying pizza's good. It's not like, proclaiming Wyndham Clark's going to take a huge step or something. So I'm not like getting any credit, but it was just like, no, you guys are stupid. You guys doubting this guy at 24, you guys drawing conclusions on this guy. You are nuts. And when I would pick him at Bay Hill, when I pick him at the Masters, the comments that I don't think people who I respect even remember saying those things. Granted, he didn't win those tournaments, but the point remains. Doesn't have that dog in him. Ruff, ruff. Like, what sort of dog was that? That's not even a dog. That's a unicorn. 9 under. Or 28 on his back 9.
So,
yes.
Yeah, it's good that you won some money, and it's good that I won some money, although that lip out on Fitzpatrick on the 18th hole or the 72nd hole on Sunday cost me about $2,000 on DraftKings. And it's funny, I was interacting with the guy who was ahead of me because I ended up coming third. This guy came second, and it cost him first place. So it cost him $4,000 on that putt. It would have moved him to first, me to second, and the guy in first to third. But hey, that's just the break sometimes when you line up 6-footers and look like they're going in and have it lip out, and Scotty doesn't lose his placement points and he retains his second. Whatever it might be, I'm still very happy with the day. But we needed that money because we lost the one and done to Tim Andergust.
Tim Andergust.
That's not my name.
You won?
Maybe if you'd bet on the good Fitzpatrick instead of Matt Fitzpatrick, you would have won in the tournament.
I didn't bet on Matt Fitzpatrick though.
Shame for Matt Fitzpatrick losing to the guy who shot a 61.
No,
Really
look, I was happy.
low.
I was happy for Victor. The course didn't show up, but the golfers did.
I would say that the course didn't show up quite as much as it did last time, obviously, when you take a look at the winning scores. But it wasn't not hard at the same time. Like Taylor Moore was like 20 over par or something like that.
It was soft. Even to the weekend, it was soft.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, I did win the one and done. This was the year I was just able to cap things well. I had a pretty good. I went through a stretch where I had someone in the my one and done was in the top 5, like 6 of 7 weeks in a row or something, including hitting Wyndham Clark in that stretch. I hit Justin Rose at Pebble. At the Masters, I did well when you all treated Phil Mickelson like he was Sandy Lyle and had bets on him missing the cut, and he happened to finish in second. Like, just you guys. I happen to have a good read on a lot of spots this year, so I appreciate the credit.
Hold on a second.
What did you pick? You didn't pick Phil.
Yeah, you didn't pick Phil. What are you talking about?
No, I picked live guys because I said I thought the live guys at Augusta would actually show up, and I was mocked on the live show. Jeff was in person for that show, and I was sort of laughed about taking live guys. And live guys finished like second, third, fourth. It wasn't a bit. They finished second, fourth.
Okay, no, not the bit. And Liv, full credit, they showed up in majors. They're top guys. That's not even worth debating. Anyone who doubted it at moments like myself, we were wrong. Like, I can admit that. It was just like you going from the last time there was a major, you were spewing like venom and vitriol at all things associated with Liv. And then we came here and I was just shocked that you were able to make the change. That's all I laughed at.
Okay. Well, I was right.
And I laughed when you picked Wyndham Clark as your gold pick. So I'm an idiot.
You did? I mean, I'm not out here looking to chastise. I don't want to be petty.
Fuck off.
I'm just here to collect, I suppose, some credit. Credit's not the only thing that matters to me, but I'm glad. I hope that people who listened this year took my advice and made some money. That's far more important to me than credit.
Well, maybe
people listened.
Maybe JL Owens did that because the race for the Mayo Cup has concluded. JL Owens hit 7 winners this year, 13 top 5s, collected almost $29 million in terms of overall winnings from his one-and-done golfers at fantasygolfchampionships.com, turned $125 into $50,000. So congratulations to JL Owens. Dirt 17, $35,000. B Will 10-13, $25,000 for third. Top Cheese 10, $20,000 for fourth, and Whistlemania $15,000 for fifth place. I think, let's see, everyone paid into 5 figures down to 7 places this year. So the more people that we can get in January when this restarts, I think it was 4,444 entries. If we can get it up to 5,000, then we're going to have even more 5-figure winners because we are going to keep the payout structure flat, not put everything up top. So if you come in 6th place, you can get yourself a nice $12,500. There are mini swing season events. The swing season one and done is not huge by any means because frankly, people are not all that interested in playing in the swing season one and done. But there are, I think, $100, $50, and $25 contests available at Fantasy Golf Championships right now. That will start in like 3 weeks, whatever it is, if you want to get in on those. I did want to talk Ryder Cup before we let you go, Tim. Does it seem like, I mean, we looked at the odds this morning, and you seem to think that Brooks is now not going to be on the team.
Correct. I'm now of the opinion that because he doesn't have to take Brooks, he's not going to. You can throw him off the team. I think this means JT is a lock. I think I've changed my opinion on this pretty harshly based on what I think is going to happen, not based on what I think what should happen. Brooks and DeChambeau and DJ should all go. None of them are going. They're just not going at this point. They're going to take Thomas, they're going to take Finau, they're going to take what's his name, Keegan Bradley, who's like, you might as well just set a pick on fire rather than take Keegan Bradley, but they're going to take him too. And they're going to field what is a really bad team. And if they're the favorites, it's free money to take Europe because they're going to field a bad team.
I hope Tim's right. I think he is dead wrong. I think he's dead wrong. As I believe it's going. I would take JT and Cam Young, and I know other guys.
Why do you keep wanting? Why do you keep wanting to take Cam Young? Like, what does Cam Young do?
I mean, Cam Young's clearly going. The odds suggest Cam Young is clearly going.
Cam Young probably shouldn't go, Pat. And as I said on Twitter yesterday, he's never won a tournament. And the only players who I believe who have ever made Team USA without making the Tour Championship probably won 2 majors. like in their career. Spieth, I guess, well, Spieth maybe in the, like, you have to have multiple majors to have never won a tournament, to have a winless season, to get on a USA All-Star team without having the equity of major championships in your back pocket. But Cam Young would scare me more than other guys. I don't know that those are the two they're going to take. Those are the two that I would take, which I believe are the only two open spots available at the moment.
So according to you, Spieth's not even on the betting board right now. That's how much he's on the team. So he's on the team. Morikawa is minus 1,000 to be on the team. So let's call him on the team. Fowler's minus 700. He's probably on the team. Brooks is also minus 700. I think Brooks is a
No,
lock.
he's not. He's minus 400.
I'm looking at it right now, minus 700.
So then it moved. Good for them.
Then it's moved. It was minus 400.
Yeah, I saw minus 4. I'm shocked. I would like Tim. They better take Brooks.
They're taking Brooks. He's the one live guy that's going.
If there was an anti-live agenda in this thing, I wouldn't be shocked. And someone's like, Brooks just had a baby. He's not going. Brooks played 2 live events since having that baby, and apparently that baby was still in the hospital. So if Brooks wants to golf, Brooks is going to golf. Now, Ryder Cup doesn't pay like a live event, but this is Brooks' favorite golf in the world. There's no way Brooks, if they don't take Brooks, it's honestly criminal. Like, it's criminal.
So
they don't care. They're not allowing live tournaments to count towards anything for the Ryder Cup. They don't care. They've made it. They've taken a stand right now. So whatever.
Are we making it up, or is it like a legit thing that they might not take him, or are we just wasting time?
Wasting time. They're taking Brooks. Like that's happening.
Okay, good.
Well, we say they. It's only one person. It's Zach Johnson.
That's wrong. That is wrong. I believe Spieth, Scotty, Cantley, they are as much involved. Like, JT is on this team because every guy who has any sort of credential on the team has told Zach they want JT on the team.
Even better than for those of us who want Europe to win, because if your captain actually can't make decisions, if he actually thinks he's beholden to other people's opinions, then great. Then they're going to have terrible matchups. He's going to set the lineup very poorly in the tournament. Great.
And I don't even think JT deserves it. He clearly doesn't. But I would follow it up by saying forever, Europe had to bring their underperforming guys with resumes because they didn't have a choice. And that was to fill the middle quadrant of the teams.
There's
like not even
put it this way though.
Not even the last leg. The USA could do this for like the very last leg of their team. And I think they'll be very comfortable doing it.
If you stack up Justin Thomas and DJ next to each other, I don't know in what world you can pick Justin Thomas over DJ.
I was going to say, when you said when you said Bryson and DJ should be on the team, Bryson, I think you can make a pretty compelling case for. I don't see a case for Dustin Johnson at all.
He was perfect at the last Ryder Cup. He acquitted himself very well at the majors this season.
If that's going to be the case, then you have to take Justin Thomas if he was great 2 years ago.
And he acquitted himself well at the major championships when everybody played. Those two things combined. Like, so I mean you compare that to Justin Thomas, it's just the case is not there.
Hold on. What do you think DJ did in the majors this year?
Well, I can tell you he did better than cut 70th. Because that's what JT did.
He was 10th. He was 10th at the U.S. Open, miscut 55th, 48th. He was not good in the majors.
That's actually pretty decent.
That's pretty decent
for a guy who doesn't get to play any other time of year on the tour to get a top 10.
So what you're saying? So is that an admission that live golf doesn't mean anything? Because it's pretty good for a guy who plays on live.
He got a top 10. He's won 2 majors. He was their best player in the last Ryder Cup. He's still one of the best 10 golfers in the world. If you're going to pick JT over him, you actually don't want to win. That's sabotage. Great. I hope the U.S. take JT. He hasn't found it. He may never find it again. Some guys never find it again.
Come on.
No, some guys don't. There's a litany of guys who have won multiple championships and just
not at that age. They all found it again.
Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't.
What examples are we having here?
David Duval happened to him.
David Duval got vertigo. Hold on. David Duval had vertigo.
Yes.
Justin Thomas isn't suffering from a debilitating injury.
No, but it doesn't matter. The guys sometimes lose their top level and they never get it back. And it's kind of insulting and cruel to say, "Oh, they'll get it back." Maybe they will, but that's putting too much pressure on them.
When you say top level, do you mean like number 1 golfer in the world, or a guy that will consistently be in that?
5. even top 5 in the world.
Okay, but
There's
why
guys who-
does that?
guys
Why
who-
does it why, hold on. Why does that apply to Dustin or to Justin Thomas, but that doesn't apply to Dustin Johnson?
Well, DJ finished top 10 in a major this year. DJ played well on Live Golf this year, really well on Live Golf this year.
So Justin Thomas's case would be better if he played on Live Golf and just got to be T3 every week.
Justin Thomas's case would be better if he wasn't god awful every single week and couldn't even make the quote unquote playoffs in the top 70. Couldn't make it. Couldn't get there.
Hold on. Why is that in quotes? Are you pretending like the playoffs don't actually exist?
Yes. First, they don't really exist.
They don't
because
really
they're
exist?
a complete No, they don't, because you're not really playing off for anything other than money. And there's no championship on the line. Nobody really cares who wins the FedEx Cup.
I mean,
they're not playoffs.
The guy who wins
every
gets
other
$40
sport,
million bucks. They care, but I agree with you. It's not. It's
no, it's not the
inconsequential.
playoffs the way the basketball playoffs or the World Series are the playoffs, right? Like, it kind of doesn't matter.
No one will be tuning in Sunday to see who wins the FedEx Cup. They'll be tuning in to hopefully seeing like Victor versus Scotty versus Rom versus Rory. Like that's
So,
like it.
Yes,
And
we're
like
in
the
violent
nature of
agreement here.
Who will win this 2-hour back nine when I tune in as a casual? Not like who's lifting this FedEx Cup thing.
And when you have
Yeah.
4 tournaments that mean the most, I mean, it's even like with these elevated events that they've really drawn away from the other events that we considered to be the next level down from the majors, that they've made them all just kind of scrambled, which has hurt the playoffs even more because we see these fields all the time. In fact, the BMW, Jeff and I used to talk, like the top 70 players in the FedEx Cup used to be basically the best tournament of the year in terms of field strength. You had all of the best players. They all played. And we're going to go through. I think they were cut down to top 50 or whatever it was as their cut. But when you can see all these guys play together in Phoenix and this year in Pebble and at the Genesis, like every second week, it loses all of the little bit of luster that it had. And I'm with you. I don't think that Justin Thomas should be on the team, but I think I've been the only one saying consistently the entire time that he is going to be on this team.
It's true. You never wavered. I waver every hour. I waver every hour, but I think about it too much. Yeah, I've definitely been a slinky on Justin Thomas, but I'm now.
I think it would be bad for Justin Thomas if you want to see Justin Thomas get it back together. You don't want him picked for the Ryder Cup. That's the last thing you want. You don't want him to have another public failure on a national scale. That will be nothing but bad for his confidence. Not having him on the team and having him having this to work forward to in the next 2 years and get back is a much better story and much better for his confidence. The worst thing that Zach Johnson could do would be to put Justin Thomas on this team for his development. I'm convinced
in the past, we have seen, like, when the US is truly running in like this full throttle, I've sometimes seen that they can use this final spot. For a couple of years ago, they gave it to Scotty in the sense that he had earned it. His performances as a rookie, even despite the wins, all earned it. But then we saw at the President's Cup, they gave it to Kisner in the sense, it's like a lifetime achievement award, because it kind of is in some respects. I
would push back on that, as they don't really give a shit about the President's Cup.
No, that's true. But if that's true, then Jeff, then Lucas
I've
Glover's
seen
getting
in the past,
a spot.
the Ryder Cup has been used as a lifetime achievement award too, as opposed to over young guys. But I don't know. I feel bad for Glover way more than Keegan, because he's literally he's earned it. Like, what the hell? He won an elevated late in the year, back to back. He's still striping it. But I don't know. I think they're going to leave him out unless the leaders want him.
Yeah, I don't think.
And I don't even mean captains. I mean leaders of
What
the team.
date is decision day? Do we know the actual date that the U.S. team is going to announce their roster?
I don't know.
Sure,
I think it's like 2 weeks
I'm
from
sure.
now, isn't it?
Okay, I know the Europeans wait till after the tournament.
Their qualifying isn't done yet.
That's what I mean. They still have that other big tournament.
No, I believe that they do it before, like the week of Wentworth. I believe that the
Wentworth,
teams
yeah,
are selected.
that's
It's not after Wentworth. I think it's before Wentworth actually starts.
Okay.
But qualifying explained. Yeah, I have no idea when they're going to make these selections. Let's see. The 6 remaining slots on the U.S. team will go to eligible players who are captain. Selections will be announced following the Tour Championship. So I suppose there is a way.
Do I have it?
Like if Glover Glover could make himself undeniable this week if he wins or comes in second or something. Then you have to take him.
I think if he wins, he probably gets in on points if he wins.
Points are closed.
August 29th.
Oh, points are closed. Okay.
August 29th, the U.S. is announcing 10 to 11 a.m. on the Golf Channel at their Frisco, Texas home of PGA.
Next week from tomorrow.
So, like, I wouldn't take Justin Thomas, but I think he's on there. I don't understand, and maybe you can explain this to me. And it's not even like he's playing better golf at the moment. Both these guys are playing like not great golf. But why is Cameron Young a minus 600 favorite to make the team, and Sam Burns is like plus money?
I don't really have an answer. I don't, and I'll tell you, there are some loyal Cam Youngers out there, because when I mentioned that I believe him not making it to Eastlake could be a disqualifier because the only guys that can do that made the teams of majors, I got a lot of like, there are truthers out there that are ride or die, that kind of surprised that like will not handle any besmirchment of him not being on this team. But I believe I'm not nearly as confident as other people, because I agree with you, Pat. But I want him there. Like I don't want him there as someone who bet Europe.
People talk about Cameron Young the way Jeff talked about Tony Finau a month and a half ago. How he was a 1,000,000% lock.
I thought Finau would win any tie. That was like I didn't think Finau would fall lower than being tied with these guys in the race. But he's now below them. I thought his vibes would be a tie-breaking winner. But you can't win a tiebreaker if you're below, right?
I mean, he'll have to have quite a week this week to get himself back. If he can win this week in Eastlake, maybe Finau can end up making this team. All right, so let's make some picks for the U.S. side. I think locked onto the team, Brooks, Spieth, and Morikawa for sure. Those three guys. I think that Ricky's about as close of a lock as you can get as well. We'll call him number 4. I think that they'll take Justin Thomas. And I think they'll take Cameron Young. I wouldn't, but I think that they're going to take him. I would take Keegan. Or even someone like Russell Henley, or Lucas Glover, like one of those two guys who've just been playing great golf for 3 months, who really set up well, great accuracy off the tee. I think that they would be good at this course in Rome.
I totally agree.
Spieth, Young, Morikawa. They'll take Keegan. I'll take Fowler. That leaves one spot, I think.
Brooks.
That's probably
I don't think they're taking Brooks. So, I guess Burns. Burns or Glover. Burns or Glover. That wouldn't surprise me. Zach Johnson has been nothing but sort of unpleasant towards Liv, and ultimately it's his call.
Them not taking
Who's
Brooks
going to?
will
No
not
one's
be
going to the
worth-
mattress. Who's going to the mattresses for Brooks?
It won't be worth the trouble, Tim. They think they're making a stand. It will cause such a situation that they'll be having to answer for it all week. It's not worth it. Like, even if Zach doesn't want him, he has to have the wherewithal to not be like an executive who will get canceled. Like, it just wouldn't be worth the firestorm of criticism from fair and balanced people. And it'd be stupid.
I mean, Zach Johnson's only beholden to one person, the Lord. So whatever God tells him to do, he's going to do. He'll feel it, and then he'll make his selections. Him and Scotty can get in their prayer circle. They'll be fine. Euro team, they still have some stuff to do here. And a lot of these, like Aberg's playing in the Czech Republic. I actually, spoiler alert, I bet on my guy this week, Tim. You got to get behind. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily want you behind him with the way that you've been doing this year. Maybe you need to get behind Adrien Dumont de Cherray. I'd love to see him win and be on this team.
I don't know who that is.
He's like 20 years old from Belgium. He just won on the Corn Ferry Tour. He was a great. He's basically like Aberg light. That Aberg got all the press, but this guy actually came out and won. But he wasn't playing on the PGA Tour. He was playing on the Corn Ferry Tour. But he's over there in the Czech Republic this week. They're all kind of playing. Like Lowry's playing, Moronk's playing, Bobby Mack, Aberg, both Højgaards. I think Noren's over there. Yannick Paul.
Alex Fitzpatrick.
Alex Fitzpatrick has no fucking chance to make this team, by the way.
But Tim, I'm Tim's boy.
Then bet on him 20-1 to make the team.
It's interesting. I'm reading a Sporting News article this morning, and their projected captain's picks do not include Brooks either.
Isn't that a wait?
Because he's not in the automatic. He's not projected in the captain's picks either.
Really? Who wrote that column?
I mean, the way that they, if not for
It
the
is written by, I'll tell you the name, Jacob Kamenker.
if the merger or attempted merger didn't happen, I would think that they could probably leave Brooks off in the same way, like it's just a non-live event. They kicked Stenson off of captain. Both sides have done their best to just make Live Zero part of this. But the fact that they're trying to merge with that, like that's not even a thing. How can that be a thing from the PGA's POV now?
I don't know. It's up to Zach Johnson.
Are they? Is the media preparing like people?
It's not, also not. It's also not, apparently it's also not clear whether live guys who aren't automatically qualified are eligible.
What does that mean? It's not clear.
It's not clear whether non-qualified live guys
They
are
haven't
eligible
figured
for the
that
tournament.
out.
No one said anything one way or the other.
Okay.
That would be like, I don't know. You have an invitation to a party, but they haven't even given you the time. Like, I don't understand. It's not clear. They've only had a year and a half to figure out if it's clear or not. That can't be true.
I mean, if it is true, then Brooks is not going to be on the team.
Look, I report, you decide. I have no idea what the truth of the matter is. I will say for the Euro team, I really, really hope Sepp Straka makes it.
It's looking like he's going to make it. I mean, they're trying.
100%.
They're trying. I wouldn't say 100%. They're looking for every reason not to take him, but I think it's somewhat undeniable that you have to take him.
Oh, I think he'll be marvelous in this format and just crushing DCs all over the lot, or Coca-Cola Light as it is. He'll have to bring his own.
That would be amazing. If Luke Donald and company think they can afford to take a player who didn't earn his way to goddamn Eastlake in the final 30 of the PGA Tour, that's as insane to me as leaving Brooks off. And they don't have options. I'm a fan of all the young guys. Bobby, Maronk, Ludwig, Højgaard's. Like, I'm excited for Europe to get fun and spicy. But you cannot leave off a guy who's playing at Eastlake this week. That would be malpractice.
I mean,
even if his floor is low,
Paul,
who cares?
Paul has a comment.
Is Aberg minus 200 because guys like Jeff are like keeping that market up? I would take good Aberg, who is 2R Norman, because he actually wins. Jeff watched a couple drives, and all of a sudden the guy's minus 200. What has he done this year? Come on.
That's a fair question, but that's like a future prognosticating, like you're projecting. The guy goes to narrow places, hits like every fairway. Well, not so narrow, but nonetheless, that's more of a projection. I'm not here advocating for that. And I have no Ludwig bet. When I asked for a bet like 2 months ago, they gave me plus 175. And I said, that's not nice enough. But I don't even know if I would. I think I would. It'd be him or a Højgaard, or the Højgaard, the better Højgaard.
This person's picks doesn't have Højgaard or Aberg on the team.
Because I would have Maron.
Who is this person that you're just randomly citing?
It's a sporting news article that was written this morning.
Maronk, Bobby, and
well, Bobby might be an auto.
Straka.
So like Bobby's an auto right now. It's McIlroy,
Yes.
Rahm, and McIntyre. Like Yannick Paul's only shot of making this team is to take this Euro point spot from Bobby.
Or he's a captain's pick in this thing.
I don't think Yannick Paul is going to be a captain's pick. They're going to take.
I don't think so either. I would. He has Maronk as well, but
Yeah,
I would take Maronk too.
Yeah. So okay. So let's go through it. So the locks right now, and because obviously they still have like 3 weeks to go. Like Rory and Rahm are actually on the team because they cannot be caught in terms of points. They're qualified. So there's one spot left in terms of European points to qualify. And in the standings, McIntyre's third, Yannick Paul is fourth, Maronk is fifth, Fleetwood is sixth. Although I think he's in on world points. And Victor Perez, Højgaard, and Otagi are the ones who are right behind him, who could theoretically catch him. But Paul's the closest, then it's Maronk. Like those three seem to be battling for the last spot, unless someone from the back like wins twice. This week in Czech Republic, next week in Switzerland, then they would probably have enough points. In terms of the world points, it's Hovland, Hatton, and Fleetwood that are in. So that makes Fitz an auto pick, Lowry an auto, like a captain's pick for Fitz, captain's pick for Lowry, captain's pick for Rose. So there's three off the board right now. So we have to get the other three that are coming in. So it's probably
And you said Straka has pretty much got to be taken. He's in the final 30.
I think Straka and Moronk almost have to be autos on this team.
Then there's one spot left.
So there's
it's
one.
Højgaard or Aberg.
Højgaard or Aberg. Or Paul.
I think it really depends on how there's 3 tournaments the next 3 weeks on the European tour. Like I said, like Lowry, Aberg, Moronk, they're all playing. All of the guys competing for this last spot. I mean, Lowry's on the team, but he's not officially in right now. It'd be nice to get some form going into the Ryder Cup for him. But like even Patty Harrington's playing this week. Maybe he can play himself onto the team. Who knows? But
If
it's
Aberg won this week, forgetting like that would get how high up on the points list could that get? Like, could that get him into the third points list or no chance?
No chance. Like he has 19 because he can only get in on European points. He has he has 19 European points so far in the Ryder Cup standings. That's in world points. Let me see where Aberg is on Euro points. Aberg on Euro points is not on the list, it looks like.
Yeah, he's never. I don't think he'd ever gotten them.
Yeah, so he has 0 points, and he would have to catch up to Bobby Mack, who has 1,700, which is impossible. I think.
So, as a guy who currently has the Europe money, in my opinion, I am going to be rooting against Yannick Paul this week.
Okay. Who would you want as your last biggest pick? Aberg?
Right now, it'd have to go to the Højgaard that's won twice. But you can't. Aberg at minus 200 to me is crazy. Like, that's crazy. And I love the guy.
You'd be better. There's no one in their right mind should bet minus 200 for him to make the Ryder Cup team. They should just bet him to win each of the next 3 tournaments at wherever the hell his odds are, because that's the only way he's probably getting on the team is if he wins one of those tournaments.
I probably will bet him this week just for shits and giggles.
He's 12-1.
That's okay.
Lowry's 11, Aberg is 12, Moronk is 14 over in the Czech Republic this week. Tim, who do you think gets the last spot?
Aberg.
I kind of agree that he probably
ever so slightly over Højgaard. But Højgaard, that's like a 52-48 thing, and if Højgaard plays really well in the last 2 tournaments, he could take it, and that would be fine.
Yeah, it feels like all things being equal, if no one really leaps out and takes the spot, that if we just default to wherever they're at right now, it's going to be Aberg. They'll just take the upside. And if he sucks day one, they can bury him and just sit him on the bench. Because that could happen to Straka as well, by the way. Because as we've seen with Seb Straka, he could be the best guy out there or the worst guy out there. He's sort of he's real Siwoo Kimmy that way.
No, Pat. Let's honestly be real here for a moment. Europe is going to bury the shit out of people because they're going full fire wagon with about probably 5 or 6 guys.
Yeah, Fitz, Fleetwood, Vic, Rom, Rory. We're probably going to play
5-session golf.
All 5 sessions, yeah. Although Lowry might not be cut out for 5 sessions. Maybe Hatton's the guy, not Lowry.
Yeah.
All right. Tim, any final thoughts on any of this before we speak to you on the NFC Win Total show, which is coming out this week?
No, I'm good. Have a good show, folks. Enjoy this. This is the championship of the playoffs for the real quote unquote tour that starts people with different scores before they even begin. And that's 30 people. But this is the real tour, not the one where half the best players in the world are playing.
I love how Liv fans can use this as like, look at how they play golf.
Yeah,
this is their championship of their playoffs.
This one tournament. It's like, how about every tournament on Liv? Which is terrible.
This is their championship playoff. This is the way they do it. So maybe rather than taking needless shots at the other tournament where people are having fun, maybe they should just focus on themselves and fixing their quote unquote playoff structure.
I agree. This tournament's dumb as shit.
But that's just me.
No, it's not. Stupid tournament.
Okay. Well, that was it for Tim Undergust.
Tim Undergust.
And yes, that is his name. Tour Championship, 2 betting markets this week at Eastlake. You can bet on the players with the starting strokes, which, as we've all just kind of agreed, is absolutely terrible. Or you can bet the 72-hole winner just cuz. And Jeff, that's the market that I am going to be playing this week.
I will probably play that market, but like that's where the value could lie, but I also don't like betting into anything where the players don't really know or give it. Like if there isn't that, go for it. Like I don't care is what I'm trying to say. But I agree. There's a couple guys whose value I could mine there, or just go all in on Vic again because he's going to win.
Or he's 9-1 in the starting strokes, I believe. I'm looking at DraftKings Sportsbook right now, and they only seem to have the market up for with starting strokes. They don't have a market up yet without starting strokes, which is strange. I assume that's going to be coming soon because, like, is there a worse market? I mean, Sky was on top of this. I think Sky bet Scheffler at like plus 420 at the beginning of the playoffs, being like, look, once we get to Eastlake, if he's still in first or second, his odds are going to be what they are right now, like plus 140. So if you want value on Scheffler, you just bet it now and just wait 3 weeks, which I believe that he did. And whether or not he wins, that's to be determined. But it was a good bet in terms of closing line value.
Yeah, definitely a great call. I looked at it. By the time I got around to it, it had already dropped. But he was definitely on the ball with that one. I guess blindly, I want to ask, it feels like in the event, like Rory had a nice comeback last year. I believe I was on that at 10-1, even with the starting strokes. But it does feel like historically, and this includes last year, like once the pace for the week here gets set, no one is coming to win it. Like Rory got that quick start, which was expected, and he got himself right in it. But once we sort of get to the weekend, no one comes from behind and wins this thing ever. Or am I missing something?
I can't really remember because I generally pay so little attention to this tournament that I can't remember. I feel like there was a year when Cantlay won that Kevin Na made a big push.
That sounds familiar. And you're right, as Tim joked, as we all agree, like this hasn't resonated with sports fans at all, let alone hardcore golf fans. That being said, the starting stroke sucks. It sucks for what we do and trying to make this pre-tournament betting content and all that. I do believe once we are into the tournament, they get exactly what they want, which is casuals tuning in 3-4 o'clock on NBC on Sunday and getting a dream of these guys at the top, all within a couple strokes still probably.
Well, probably not, because Scheffler's being spotted 2 strokes, and that's essentially what he loses putting every single week, so he should just run away with it now.
That is a fair point, I guess. I don't know how to bet into the starting strokes market, but if I did, I'd be betting on Victor at 5-1.
Yeah, there would probably be better on Victor 5-1. He's starting in second place. He's going to be.
See, that's better to me than the 9-1 for the full event. No, like the no starting strokes.
I don't know. Like, do we really expect any of these guys from the back of the pack to really make a run? Like, I've bet on one of them because I'm a goober who likes to lose money, but
with starting strokes,
without starting strokes.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
there's a goober I want to bet. I'll run his name by you. I talk about him every week, and people think winning is hard for him. So it's kind of perfect.
Bo Hostler's not in this tournament, by the way.
There's a lot of okay, whatever. I'll wear it.
Is it Finau?
I don't think I bet Bo Hostler once all season, but yeah, I like to see him do well and melt at the end.
Yeah, like there's the guys at 4. So it's Scheffler, Hovland, Rory, Rahm, Glover. 10, 8, 7, 6, 5 under to start the week. Then you have this group at 4 under where it seems feasible that if one of these guys plays really well that they can win. It's Homa, Cantlay, Harmon, Wyndham Clark, and Matt Fitzpatrick. Starting at 3 under, it's Fleetwood, Henley, Keegan, Ricky, Xander. And then -2, -1, even par. It's probably not going to happen for Tom Kim or Sungjae or Finau or Connors or Siwoo or whoever these guys, Morikawa, Burns, Hatton, Spieth, like they're cooked for the without starting strokes. I think at least. I mean, most of these guys are probably cooked if you're not inside the top. Like it feels like the winner is going to be Scheffler, Hovland, Rory, or Rahm just based on the starting strokes, doesn't it?
Yeah, and again, I don't even think that we've had guys really charge this thing, or at least win. I know mentioned Rory last year, but once it gets going, there's no coming back from it.
All right, so let's just get rid of the starting strokes angle. I'm not betting into it. I'm going to bet into the other one. So it's probably
if
better.
I did bet into it, though, it would be Victor at 5-1, 2 off the freaking pace.
Okay.
He should have won last week.
He did win last week.
The week before.
Oh, yeah. He didn't.
No. But I'm silly enough to think in the standalone Victor market, 5-1 is better than 9-1, 2 off the pace, than tied with all these other guys.
Well, when we kind of flip it around and do it without starting strokes, you have Scheffler, Rory, Rahm, and Victor 5.5, 6, 8-1, and 9-1. And then Cantlay's 11, Xander's 12. Xander's been really good at Eastlake over the course of his career. Then it's like Homa, Morikawa, Sungjae, Ricky. Then you're into Fitz and Hatton at 28 and 30-1. Then it's just like Tommy's 33. I was thinking, I think EPAT actually put it out that when I didn't realize that Tommy would be 33 at a tournament like this. One bad week for Tommy, he's back down the board. But he can win without winning, which would be the most Fleetwood thing ever. And now you get 33-1 in a short field.
You alluded to goobers. This was the goober. This like he can win without winning. This I used to like betting Finau here in that scenario when he still hadn't won yet. So yeah, I'll just say Fleetwood 33 and the Banana Stand Connors at 40 would be guys that would stand out to me in this other market. And I can't ignore, I'm going to throw up a little in my mouth when I say this, but I don't think Brian Harman is a bad look either.
That's actually a pretty good call because Eastlake is short. Like, you don't need to be, anyone can kind of compete here. Remember when Rory came and stole all of our Ryan Moore money in that playoff that year?
Oh,
that was
during
bad
a
news.
football Sunday.
That was bad news. But Harman's 45-1. Actually, no, sorry. That's with, stupid. I've got to click on the right markets here. What is Harman? Harman is 35-1 without starting strokes. Like, I was just going to take some shots. Like, I was looking at Sungjae because Sungjae's been really good. Connors has been god-awful at Eastlake in his career, by the way. He has lost more strokes in this tournament than anyone in the field over the past 5 years.
Okay, so we'll cancel that. And I guess that makes sense.
You don't need to cancel it. I'm just telling you. Like,
no, I mean, his strengths are sort of negated here. It was just sort of like not a big, doesn't really win big things. But okay. I also want to say about that Rory Moore thing, there's nothing worse about a bad beat in sports or golf that ends up being used as like tour promotional for a decade. Like, that is the worst. Rory's winning putt was promoted for like a decade on tour. Like, these guys are good shit. Fuck.
So the best number I've seen on Sungjae without starting strokes is 28. I like that. I was thinking about going Sungjae, Fleetwood at 33, and I bet Siwoo at 66. You get me in a Donald Ross course, just give me Siwoo. He's probably going to come dead last, but 66-1 in a 30-man field at a course that he could theoretically play really well at, I'm in.
Yeah, I guess the Tom Kim 7 under shrunk his market a bit.
A little bit.
For Eastlake. But yeah, I think you've done a nice job identifying guys who could catch wagons here, not relative to the starting strokes or not related to the starting strokes.
That's why
I've done this every year though. I've never been good at the guys that I think like will benefit from the non-starting strokes. It never ends up working. And I feel like it's just the guys at the top anyway end up winning multiple markets.
I think that you're correct about that. I think it is usually like one of the better guys or one of the better informed guys somewhere like from -4 and up that end up winning this thing. And we're always like, oh, let's take our shot with the guy at even. He can just fire at pins all week. And then they fire at pins and end up in the water all week and they're terrible.
I'm sure, I don't know, maybe Keegan will be attractive here, thinking hyper motivated, needing to, score banana to make a final case.
I mean, what did Glover end up doing last weekend? Because he was like kind of in it through like a few days, I feel like, and then nothing. I think he started
really slow, and
I
think he finished like 5 under, but at the same time, Pat, every time I looked at him, he had 12 feet for birdie. Like, it seemed like he played with Rory the first 2 days, so we got tons of TV time, and it looked like he was still just peppering the ball beautifully.
Yeah, he didn't drive it as well as he has been last week. He still gained off the tee. He gained 4 strokes on approach, just bled a bunch around the greens, bled a bunch on the greens. I mean, when he's not gaining 5 strokes putting, he's losing 3 strokes putting. That's kind of the Glover spot that we've been in right now. I just thought it was really strange for a guy who's won 2 of the past 3 tournaments, played reasonably well last week against these same guys, is 45-1 without starting strokes. Like at DraftKings, he's 40-1 with starting strokes, and he's starting at -5. In the without starting strokes market, he's 45-1. Like, why can't he just have the best weekend of all?
And listen, he went off the board at some books at like 32-1 last week with 50 guys, all with no starting strokes. So as you mentioned, I don't know, so many of the good players played well last week outside of Rahm. Essentially, like even Xander, Pat, no one was hitting the ball better.
I bet
got a problem.
I bet on Xander. That was fun to watch him on the back nine both days. The hot starts from Xander each day on the weekend, and then just watch him go down the leaderboard. Like, I just stopped paying attention for 15 minutes, and all of a sudden Xander's like no longer in 30s and 9th.
But I don't mind the guys. I think you've identified Fleetwood. I mentioned Harmon, but you seem to concur that one is decent. And I don't know, yeah. Yes, Russell Henley 28-1.
Like, okay, this is what I don't understand. Why is Russell Henley 28-1, but Glover is 45-1?
That's a fair and balanced question.
Am I getting my own Fox News show soon? Mayo. I got some hot takes. I mean, Cuss should actually just have his own Fox News show. Big on Live with Tim Andercust. But yeah, I think I'm actually add Glover to it. Sungjae 28, Tommy 33, Siwoo 60, Glover 45. You know, I lose money every week anyway. This seems like a fun way to lose money.
Yeah, I'll probably do a couple things in this market, but it's like I'm going super light. Like it's extra casual because without the obviously they're all playing, there's huge money at stake, but to actually be chasing the top score, I like guys to know or want it. And I don't think that's the case at all.
Well, after my DraftKings hit on Sunday, I can't be in the hole unless I really go wild this week. I don't even think I'm going to play DraftKings this week for the Tour Championship. Maybe I'll throw in a lineup, and that's basically what I did last week, and it really worked out. So maybe I'll try that again. But like, I can't be in the hole now. I got myself out of the hole. It was Wyndham last year at the end of the year that dug me out of the hole. BMW Championship this year that digs me out of the hole. Might as well donate some back to the cause. So quick picks for the Tour Championship. No starting strokes. Sungjae 28, Tommy Fleetwood 33, Siwoo 66-1 with 4 places on the each way, and Lucas Glover 45-1 with 4 places on the each way as well. And again, that's no starting strokes. So when Fleetwood ends up third and has the best round, he doesn't get any sort of trophy or anything like that, but he'll win this bet for us.
Yeah, so I guess I'll be there with Fleetwood 33. It's really all I got. In starting strokes, it'd be Victor 5-1.
All right, cool. You gonna play a parlay, Chargers Vic this week?
No, but I will tell you people this.
Okay.
I don't know the proper strategy, and the smart gambler would say there is no proper strategy, you moron. But when I identify, like, I will be attempting super locks with Vic to win every major. And I'll need to knock them off one at a time throughout the football season, and hopefully it doesn't get messy. But I'm just saying, when I love a football game and I'm going to put what I would put on my favorite football game of the week, assuming I liked it, is actually my favorite game. I really liked it. I have no problem putting 15% of that stake on Vic with that game at the Masters. And then we'll move on to the US Open, and then we'll move on to the PGA, and then we'll move on to the Open.
Okay. Well, that will do it on another season of golf content on the Pat Mayo Experience. Maybe we'll do a year. We usually do our year in review at Christmas time, but we'll definitely have a ton of Ryder Cup coverage when that comes. I don't really care about, you know what I did bet? totally forgot. I mentioned it earlier, but I bet Adrien Dumont Deschamps at 25-1 for the D&D Real Czech Masters as well.
That you alluded to it on when we spoke earlier, and I'm sorry if I was all over the place. Like I get giddy talking Ryder Cup, like only get talking Chargers gets me like bouncing like that. But that would really put this discussion on its head if that guy goes full out this week. Like not even winning, just like almost does what Aberg did at Detroit. Do you know what I mean? Just like put people's mouths on the floor.
Oh, I'm also betting Thirsty Lawrence at 60-1. It's a good number for him.
So a lot of people hit the accountant, Dan Brown. Good for them.
The hell was Dan Brown?
I don't know, the guy that won in Europe.
Oh.
Also on the way out, it's been long. But would you say yesterday, if someone... I was going to talk about Rory, but who cares? It's beaten dead horse.
Why is it? Throw this out. Like Rory got blamed to get another choke job by Rory. Can't get it done. How does Scheffler become immune to any of this by not closing the door on any of these tournaments?
I think if Scheffler is gone many years without a major, then we're gonna get on him when he doesn't do other things.
Okay, so it's the built-in.
That would be my guess. Rory's major drought is so long, everything is so polarizing, and you almost bring up a point that what I did want to say is so many guys were on Rory this week. It didn't seem like a bad pick. If you wanted to go to the top, he felt like he was in it the whole time. And then I saw our buddy Vincenzi tweet on Saturday night that he's expecting a vintage Rory round tomorrow. And what hurt me about that tweet was when you say vintage Rory round, I'm sure there are people that think and hear that and be like 62 in the win, 63 in the win, vintage Rory. But you say vintage Rory and half of golf public be like, choke job. He'll lollygag. He won't convert anything. What does vintage Rory even mean right now?
I have no idea.
Crazy.
Is it?
No, but winning's hard. I just want him to go 4-0-1 in the Ryder Cup.
Are you getting worried about your Euro bet now that Cuss has basically declared them free money?
I didn't think about that. No, the bet, again, it's not big enough for me to care, be that angry. And I don't like that some people on Twitter, people are, how do I put this? All I did was say during the Open that if you want to bet Europe, this is the time. It is not getting higher. It will only get shorter from here. That a lot of the Christmas time sentiment lines were still out there. This is not like I'm obsessed or need them to win. I think it's going to be close and fun. So I'm super excited. But I don't have enough to sweat hard.
All right.
I'll play matches both sides. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll do our preview. We'll bet our top US score, our top Euro score. It'll be fun. Top rook.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. RunTheSims.com/Mayo will get you 10% off if you're looking for simulations and betting tools. All tools, no content for the NFL season. Highly recommend that you do it if you just want to create free projections for your season-long fantasy leagues. If you just put in your email and get a membership, it costs nothing. You can do those for free at runthesims.com. And if you are looking for a place to store your money this fantasy football season, go to leaguesafe.com. It's not your buddy in his savings account that he might spend on drugs for the season and not pay you out. No. It's a secure place to put your money that everyone's going to get their money back. It's what we use for the Fantasy Golf World Championship. And we just paid out, I believe, $500,000, and boom, money's back to you, no problem, right away. So use LeagueSafe if you're going to do that. Follow Jeff on Twitter at gfienberg17, me at the PME. Rate, review, sub to the audio podcast, smash the like and sub to the channel, and we got a ton of football content already out. We got win totals, NFC and AFC over the next 2 weeks. Me, Cam, and Rob for our best bets for the season-long props, plus Rob and I breaking down how to bet on NFL, plus a few other special guests along the way, and a very special show that features me, Jeff, Cust, Pizzola, and Cam coming at you next week. So be on the lookout for that, okay? I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
experience. Experience.